This is Boxing Talk 8576. I want to talk about how the pay per view events over the last 30 something years, close to 40 years, if not, about, I'll say 35 years, have been really, it's only been a couple super fights here and there that I believe should have ever been on pay per view. Pay per view, the first fight was Ali Frazier. I think it was on closed circuit. That was 1975. And that fight was a super fight because Ali, he was undefeated. Frazier was undefeated. Ali had just came back from his not retirement, but his ban from boxing for not participating in the Vietnam War because he was drafted. And Frazier had won a tournament, you know, to win the title, or won the person that won fought the person that won a tournament to win a title, and that was a super fight, man. That was what I consider a super fight. And then the next major super fight was 1981 between Sugar Ray Leonard and Thomas Hitman Hearns. That was a fight. That was a historical fight because it was going to unify and have an undisputed welterweight champion. It was the WBC and the WBA title was on the line. Sugar Ray Leonard was a WBC champion, and Thomas Hearns was a WBA champion. And now that was before the IBF was created. I think IBF was created in 1984, if I'm not mistaken. You can check me on that. But and then after that, Tyson Spinks, that was a good one because that was for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. Because Spinks was the IBF champion. He had beat Larry Holmes. Had Larry Holmes was trying to go for Rocky Marciano record at the time, and Spinks beat him twice, I believe. Tyson was a WBC champion and a WBA champion. So that was for the undisputed. That was historic. That was like a historical, thing. It was the first. That was gonna be the first undisputed champion in a while. Oscar De La Hoya versus Trinidad. Both of these guys was in their prime. I believe they both was like 26 years old. Both undefeated. Oscar De La Hoya was a WBC champion. Trinidad was an IBF champion. That was labeled as a super fight, rightfully so. I mean, the fight didn't turn out to be as competitive as Sugar Ray Leonard and Hearns or Ali Frazier, but at the time of the fight and the outlook of the fight, it was a super fight, considered a super fight because of both of the fighters were undefeated, and it was to unify the titles. Who won for undisputed, but it was to unify the titles, and both guys was in their prime, and Oscar was tanning up on the WBC side, and Trinidad was tanning up on the IBF side with a whole slew of knockouts. Oscar Mosley won. This was historic because Mosley was moving up from 135 to straight to one. He didn't even stop at 140. He was going straight to 147. No one did that since Duran. He fought for the belt. Oscar was there at WBC. Oscar had beat Whitaker for the title. And Mosley was the man at 135. I think he knocked out just about everybody he fought. So he was testing himself against Oscar De La Hoya, just like Duran tested himself against Sugar Ray Leonard in their fight. And that was considered a super fight. That's what I consider a super fight. The historical part of it, to me, makes it a super fight. You have two guys that are proven, two guys that are in their prime, with belts on the line, pride on the line. And the next fight, Mayweather Pacquiao. This is for unifying the titles. Pacquiao had the WBO, Mayweather had the WBC, WBA. These guys, was rivals on pay per view with numbers and things thrown around, and these guys were the best little men of their era, so they had to fight. That was a super fight. That's, to me, that's considered a super fight. Carol Brook did have the IBF title, so it wasn't for undisputed, but it was for the unify the titles. So that was considered a super fight. All these other fights that I know after Leonard Hearns, I know Mike Tyson kind of like took over like the pay per view thing, and Mike Tyson fought. He fought a lot of times on pay per view. A lot of his fights, other than to me, the only one was the Spinks fight. To me, there was a super fight that should have ever been on pay per view. Mike Tyson was knocking guys out, but he fought a lot of Peter McNeely's. I know he fought Evander Holyfield 1 and 2. Should one of them been considered a pay per view? I don't know. Mike Tyson was making his comeback. This was Mike Tyson after he got out of prison. Evander Holyfield had lost 2 out of 3 to Riddick Bowe. It wasn't the same Holyfield, wasn't the same Mike Tyson. Now, if this fight would have happened before Mike Tyson went to jail, yes, it would have been a super fight. It would have been to me, a historical fight because both guys would have been undefeated. But I don't think it should have been on pay per view. Oscar La Hoya, he fought a lot of slew of people on pay per view that I don't agree with. I don't agree with him fighting. I don't agree with Camacho De La Hoya being on pay per view. De La Hoya Corte, De La Hoya Mosley, 2 shouldn't have been. Mosley 1, yes. Mosley 2, no. Mayweather, he fought a lot of people, especially with that 6-fight guaranteed that was Showtime for a lot of people on pay per view. The only person that he fought on pay per view that I thought should have been on pay per view super fight, and that was Pacquiao. The Canelo fight, no. I know a lot of people say, "Oh man, Canelo." I didn't think he was gonna fight Canelo. He was big and strong, but I don't want to keep on going through the Canelo thing. Canelo to me was unproven. Canelo, truthfully, I seen the fight. I went to the movie theater and seen the fight with my wife and my sister and her husband, and my sister's husband asked me about Canelo. He knew Mayweather could fight, but he said, "Man, do Canelo got a chance?" I said, "I give him about a 25% chance because he has a decent punch. He is a little bit bigger than Mayweather, so I gave him a chance on a little bit on size, but I seen him, struggle against lighter weight, competition that he was fighting already. He kind of struggled against Cotto brother. He struggled against another light guy on his way coming up when he was at 147. Forgot the guy name, but and the first fight that he had that I thought when he fought somebody his size, he struggled. He struggled against Austin Trout, man. Like struggled mightily against Austin Trout. I mean that knockdown that he got of Austin Trout kind of separated the fight, and I gave him the fight because of the knockdown, but he was struggling mightily. And I just thought he was not, at the time, he just wasn't ready for Mayweather. I mean, he just didn't have the bodies in the street, to me. Other people can have their own opinion. But Mayweather Guerrero, come on, y'all. Mayweather Maidana. You could say hindsight is 2020. Maidana gave him a good fight in the first one, but he should never fought Maidana on pay-per-view. 1 or 2. Mayweather Cotto, no, it's for 154 title. One was vacant for the WBC. I think Cotto, if I'm not mistaken, was a WBA champion. But no, man, no. Mayweather fought Marquez, a smaller guy moving up in weight, and then Mayweather came in 6, 7, 8 pounds overweight and had to pay $600,000 to Marquez. It was just a joke. That's a joke. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these pay-per-view fights have just been jokes, man. I'm serious. I'm not going to pay for no pay-per-view fight no more unless his historic guys are unifying the titles. Guys are proven. Both guys have to be proven. Period. Both guys have to have bodies in the streets. If they don't have bodies, it's not for historical reasons, being unifying titles or for the undisputed championship of any weight class. To me, it should have no business being on pay-per-view. Let me know what you think, and let me know if I missed a fight that you thought should have been pay-per-view that I missed it, that you think in your mind should have been pay-per-view worthy, a super fight that should have been on pay-per-view. But, leave your comments in the comment section, man, and let me know what's the worst fight you've seen on pay-per-view. One of the worst fights, I'm not going to even lie, was Pacquiao versus Algieri. That was one of the worstest pay-per-view fights that Mike Tyson, Peter McNeely. Come on, man. It's just, they just made a mockery out of it. It was setting a good criteria in the beginning with Ali, Frazier, and Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Hearns. then Tyson Spinks, then Oscar Trinidad, then Oscar Mosley. You know what I'm saying? It was setting a good trend, and then it just went left, man. You know, Mike Tyson took over and fought a lot of slew of people on pay-per-view that he should have never fought. I don't care if he was knocking people out. Those fights that had no historical, to me, no historical matter to them. You know, then Oscar took over and fought. He fought a lot of people on pay-per-view that he shouldn't have fought, but Oscar did fight, you know, some significant fights on pay-per-view that I thought should have been on pay-per-view, like Trinidad, him and Mosley won. That should have been on pay-per-view, but a lot of them, no. You can't say Oscar Pacquiao, no, that should have been on pay-per-view. That should have been on regular TV, man. It had no historical matter to it at all, period, point blank. All it did was have Oscar De La Hoya name and Pacquiao that was dominating people, but Oscar didn't have the momentum at that time to say that was a super fight. No, it wasn't a super fight. I know people won't say Mayweather De La Hoya. Again, that was a De La Hoya that recently before that, a couple fights before that, he was retired and just didn't know he wanted to fight anymore. He beat what? He beat Steve Forbes or no. He beat a Ricardo Mayorga, and you know everybody looked good against Ricardo Mayorga, man. But anyway, that shouldn't have been no pay-per-view fight. That should have been on regular TV. But you know, just let me know what you think. This is Boxing Talk 8576. I'm out.